we need to do a comms and visual check first, as always. Whew. Right, let's just check over in the chat. Let me see. All looking good. Audio and visual, is it okay, everybody? Right, let me see. That's just I can see myself on the screen now. Yeah, it's all coming through. There's a bit of a delay. Let me see. Is audio and visual good? If that's okay. Stuart Lennon, thanks. First one to hear back. It seems to be like about a 30-second delay. So when I see stuff come up, it's about 30 seconds behind. So well done, everybody. You made it to another week. How cool is that? Wicked. So much to get on with because we didn't have a live stream last week. It was my son's 5th birthday and we had family over. So all you family guys and girls understand family first. Absolutely. So how is everybody? Can anyone hit the thumbs up? That'd be good. And if you haven't done so already, think about subscribing because you could be missing out on all sorts of things. Okay, so we're trying to keep the UK up to date. There's loads going on around the world, but there's not much live stuff in the UK. So we need to keep it real. The community is growing. And under 2 minutes, we've got over 100 people already, which is awesome. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining along. Do you know what? I'm not sure where to look at, the screen or the camera lens. I don't know. Let me see. Bonkers. I'll just look at the screen for now. That'll do. Yes, absolutely wicked. So if you can tell me and everybody else whereabouts you are in the world, it really, really helps. It just gets it all warmed up. So people are joining the chat. We've got 132 right now, which is wicked. So that would be cool. So the audio and visual is good. We've got people joining right now. We've had people right up from the top and it's all looking good in the hood. So wicked. Hit that thumbs up button. You've only got to do it once and it helps. Like we all try to understand is this is in fact live going around the world. Okay, not just in the UK. Not everyone can watch this live. So if you're watching on the replay, absolutely, thanks so much. And thank you so much for spending your time because time, I've been told, is the most precious commodity. So I really do thank everyone for being here tonight and indeed on the replay. So that's awesome. Let me just go and see where everyone is right now. Wow, there's a lot of chat going on here. So we've got, oh my God, look at you guys. It is everywhere. Oh, I'm trying to find the first person. Oh, it goes all the way back to Jim Morrison is in Ireland. So it's Ireland. That's cool. We've got Sheffield, London, Kent, Norwich, Sussex, Norfolk, Madrid. Awesome. The Midwest, US, a Kiwi living in Yorkshire. Wow, I bet that's a shock. Illinois, awesome. Dorset, Derby, Hants, maybe Hants. Let me see. Hartlepool, North Derbyshire, Run to the Woods. We're going to be chatting about that soon, buddy. Good to see you. Leeds, Helsby, Yorkshire, Manchester, Exmoor, Isle of Man. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. That's a fast show jump right there. Shropshire, Glasgow, Merthyr Tydfil, Sussex, South Bucks, Wakefield, Preston, Yorkshire, Ohio, Gordon Bennett. It jumped. It's just gone all over the place. It always does this. Fife, Norfolk, Kent, Corrigan, Argarth. Oh my God. West Midlands. Joe Gould. Hi, honey. Norfolk, Bedfordshire, Somerset, Newcastle upon Tyne, Shetland. How cool is that? Wow. Ohio again, Suffolk. Where's that? Argartha. Oh, I'm guessing Scotland. Missouri, Nottingham, Reykjavik. Wow. Reykjavik. I've been told that you're getting more ice than usual and it's cooler than usual. So let me know what you're seeing over there. That'd be cool. Wiltshire. Love Wiltshire. Beautiful. Aylesbury, Devon, Stoke. Slade. And Birmingham, and the Highlands. Oh man, Lanka, there's people from all over, which is awesome. 218 people. Now that's probably the fastest, biggest audience that we've had here on the live stream so far. So without all the bum flufferys, I could spend all night just chatting to you guys, but we've got a lot of information and I'm not mincing the words, okay? I've been really busy in the time that I'm finding available all through the evenings, making loads and loads and loads of notes, okay? People sometimes ask me, how do you do it? Where do you find the time? Well, the best way that I found is to stop watching television. Stopped watching television years ago. It gives me time in the evenings to plan, research, educate myself, and to help others. Okay, so that's who I am and that's what I'm about. So, notes. Are you ready? Are you sure? Right, if there's any moderators, if you can, remind me about 9 o'clock because it's time for a drinky poos. We've got a shout out to do as well from a guy from Cornwall. More about that later. So, page 1, because there's 5 pages, okay? So we're going to go through note number 1. So Hanover in Germany. Now we touched on this in previous live streams, okay? All public buildings, so you're talking libraries, public toilets, government buildings, that sort of thing, okay? There's no hot water. They've turned the hot water off. If not now, they're going to be doing it very soon, okay? I can't confirm, but they're going to be having no hot water because they're cutting back. They're having no streetlights at night time. Now, that's not uncommon because we've had streetlights off over in the UK now and again for a few years. They do it now and again, okay? But no, this is going to be a permanent thing, okay? So no streetlights at night. Can you imagine what the crime rate's going to be? Can you imagine? Scary. So 15% electricity cut in the city. That's Hanover in Germany. Now, I was contracting out in the Hon Garrison barracks, which is in not too far from Hanover, a place called Bergen-Belsen. And I flew out of Hanover Airport a few times, and I know that place. And it's shocking to hear that they've just cutting back on all of the power. It seems to me, like I said in live streams many, many moons ago now, that since the issue back in 2020, it seems to me that there's a global experiment going on with the issue. All countries are employing different tactics to manage whatever they feel they need to, and they're just basically gathering data on the public's response. And to me, this is just yet another training exercise, and they're choosing Hanover in Germany to gauge the public's response. The only way I feel that we can make our freedoms last a bit longer is to what everyone's saying called pushbacks, okay? So when things seem to be a little bit pushed too far, if the people push back when that happens, it buys everyone more time. But if people don't do nothing, they don't protest, they don't riot and all that sort of thing, then they just think, okay, the public are fine with it, we'll roll on to agenda number 2 now. And so it will continue to get worse. So unless people push back when the balance of power gets tipped, it's just going to get worse, okay? Apparently, this isn't a new thing. So what they're saying, this is rolling out in Germany, but it's not going to be Germany. It's all over the EU and probably ending up over here in the UK, okay? So I don't like to talk politics and religion, but just briefly, I was against remaining in the EU. I wanted to get out of the EU because the way I see things, the centralization of power is a bad thing, okay? I believe in every country should have its own sovereign states, its own currency, its own values. When we look what's happened to Europe, you know, it's absolutely going down the pan because they just rolled over and let these unelected officials just ruin all of them countries. So you're going to be seeing the 15% to start with, electricity cut in major cities. Then we're talking Paris is next, and then it's going to roll out all over the EU. So it's not going to be a German city and a French city. It's going to start off with big cities and then trickle all over the EU. So the lack of electricity is going to be a real thing, okay? So another thing, we're going on to Sri Lanka. Right, now some of us have been keeping one eye, or try to keep an eye on what's going on, because If you're like me, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming because there is literally so much going on globally. Um, Now, the access to information now is getting more difficult. So the only real way to gauge what's going on is, from what I'm trying to do here, is to get like-minded people all on the same chat, all in the same comments, all across my social media platforms, telling me and indeed telling others and sharing others what they are seeing and what they are hearing from where they actually are, because we can't trust the mainstream media. Okay, you can study it, you can look at mainstream with a certain filter to pick out the truth, because there's 80% bullcrap in mainstream. There is some truth in there, but they disguise it, and it's very, very in small amounts. Okay, so Sri Lanka. Okay, without getting sidetracked, digital ration cards. Now, has anyone heard about digital ration cards? Like I just said earlier, they're picking little points all over the planet, and they're doing exercises, and they're gauging the public's response, and they're gathering all of that data. It's feeding into, in my belief, a huge AI system, and it's learning human behavior, not for the benefit of the human race, should I say. So, digital ration cards in Sri Lanka for fuel. Okay, so if you need to get fuel, so we're talking petrol, diesel, and gas for your gas bottles, you need to get a digital ration card, because if you don't, they literally won't serve you. And to make matters worse, now this is quite scary. All right, so brace yourself for what I'm going to say now. Um, the petrol stations all over Sri Lanka now have fully automatic weapons at the petrol stations, because you can imagine people's response. They don't want to take a part of this beast system and sign up to these digital IDs and all the rest of it. So they're literally fighting back. So guess what they've done? They've gone straight to Route 1, and they put fully automatic weapons at these establishments. Okay. So if you ask me, I've served in the military and I was a machine gunner. I've fired real machine guns. Yes, I have. And to put a machine gun in a petrol station with all that flammable liquid seems like a bloody ludicrous idea to me, but that's just my own opinion. But nonetheless, that is what's actually happening, and you can research it yourself over in Sri Lanka. Okay, so you look at all of what I'm telling you now, all these places, and that seems to be what's going to be happening globally over time. Now, I haven't got a crystal ball. I can't tell you when it's going to be everywhere, but this is what we are likely to be expecting over time. Okay, so it gives us as preppers, especially here in the UK and indeed around the world, a bit of a heads up of what we need to do to ensure our survival as preppers. Okay, scary stuff. Now, this one freaked me out a bit, because we was talking on the other live streams about the global agenda as regards climate and all that sort of thing. Okay, it's a Swedish company called Doconomy. Okay, Doconomy. Doconomy have launched a new credit card which monitors your carbon footprint. Yeah, we've been talking about it, and they've actually started it right now. This is actually now. It's not due to happen. It's actually happening now in Sweden. All right. So yeah, it's crazy. And the scary thing is, it cuts off spending when your carbon limit maximum level has been reached. So just think of it, how you live your life. Anything that uses carbon, so vehicles for one, apparently, give out a lot of carbon emissions and all that sort of thing. But not only that, all of the food that you buy, it's all being calculated right now by really high-tech advanced AI systems, right? And all it's doing is it's calculating how much every product that you buy, how much carbon it's taken to produce it. So this, to me, is a major heads up of where we're going over the next 2 years, maybe less, right? So have a good think of all of the things that you enjoy, things that you deem essential, how much carbon it will take to produce those items. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to be given, well, some of us, I'm going to push him back for sure, like most of you guys, will be given like a carbon limit. And once you reach that, you literally won't have the spending power to carry on spending. Okay, so yeah, basically, It's a credit card. It's got a carbon limit on there, and once you reach that limit, it won't let you spend any more money because you've reached your carbon limit. All right. So that's scary. Apparently, it uses an ALAND index, and I spell ALAND index to calculate carbon footprints. So what I wanted to do was to put loads of links below this video, but to be honest, there's so much information there, and most of this was gathered with my phone. So trying to sort of migrate that over to the desktop and check it all, there'd be so many links. I don't even know if there's enough room in the description box to put all of the links to all of its source information. But like I say, don't take everything I say on face value. If you're really keen, please look into it yourself, okay? So once this video is uploaded and stuff, you can pause it, rewind it a bit, pause it again, write stuff down and do some research, okay? Only people who don't watch television have time to do this, like myself, all right? Going on to that carbon theme again, there's a place called a Rabo Carbon Bank. Now, you can pronounce it Rabo, Rabo, or Rabo. It's spelled R-A-B-O, Carbon Bank. And they have introduced what's called a personal carbon wallet. So can you see where the agenda is taking us here? They basically don't want the planet screwed, and they're blaming us for it, even though it's nothing to do with us, in my opinion, okay? The planet is always heated up, it's always cooled. All the time there's enough trees there, it can more than handle all the rest of it, okay? So that's what they're doing. They're using this as a lever to get more money off you and to make your life miserable and to make sure that you end up with nothing, which is what their core belief is. The WF is you will own nothing and be happy. So everything they say is the opposite, okay? So you will own nothing, but you will be unhappy, right? They will own everything and be happy. Can you see how it works? If you can't, it will take time, but you will arrive at this conclusion like I have, I'm sure, right? So that's quite scary in itself. So we're moving on now. This is just page 1. We've got another 4 pages to go here, and then we've got all the emails to go through and lots of other stuff to mention too. So we are looking at scientists. You know that lovely term, scientist. Incidentally, all of these experts and the science says and scientists, well, the majority, the overwhelming majority of scientists belong to organizations, and those organizations rely on funding. And what you need to do is you need to look at who is funding these organizations. Then you can look at the companies who are funding these organizations and join the dots, see who else they're funding, see who the top people are, the CEOs, the directors, find out, do a bit of research of what they're up to. Majority of them are Freemasons and stuff like this. It goes really deep, okay? And I don't want to go too far because we've got more information to go through, but that's just a heads up. If any of you guys want to research further into anything I say regarding the science, okay? Check this. Are you ready for this? Okay. Now, how many of you enjoy eating cakes, biscuits, you know, that sort of thing? Most of us do. Bit of a treat. It's a nice thing. Tastes awesome. All right. So scientists are making lava fat. Lava fat from grubs. Okay. You remember watching back in the day, what was it? I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and used to eat these big fat witchetty grub things. So yeah, they're using all of these different types of grubs. They put it into a solution whilst it's still alive, and they blend it all up into bits. They strain it, they put it through a process, and they mix it in with butter. So what they've done, I can't remember where they've done this now. I should have wrote it down really, but no, you can actually check it out if you look around, all right? So what they've done is they've making this lava butter to put into baking. So what they've done is they've done some experiments, lots of experiments as you can imagine. So they've done 25% grubs mixed in with butter through a special process. They made cakes and they went to a shopping mall and they let the public try them. The public had no idea. It tastes exactly the same. So they went back there a period after and they made it 50-50. So half was butter and half was grubs. At that point, the public noticed, well, that's not very nice. It's disgusting. So do you see what I'm saying? That they're doing experiments and they're getting data back gauging the public's response, etc. This is exactly the same thing. Okay. Now I'm going to digress very quickly based on what I just said. If you listen to the radio, okay, and what they would do, they will have like little shows every day, and they'll be talking about, they'll be getting phone-ins about current events and current affairs. Okay. So all what I can see, based on how awake I believe I am, is again, it's a data gathering exercise. Okay. So there's current events. Everyone's told what to think via the mainstream. So you're all looking at newspapers, the television, the radio. Okay, the news is all pretty much the same no matter where you go, just rehashed and rebranded. But essentially, it's the same bullcrap news. What they want you to have in your heads. Okay, so what they're doing is they're gathering data based on people's responses to the questions of the phone-ins. Okay, and again, it all gets funneled back to this AI system at some point, and it's learning human behavior. Okay, here's a problem. They expect a reaction, and based on the response and the reactions and the calculations, they can then offer a solution. To be honest, the solution's already been dreamt up before it goes through all of that process. That's in my opinion. So that is my small digression over. Moving on to page 2. Okay. If you haven't done so already, if you can hit the thumbs up, it really helps, because what that enables it to do is this gets shared more on the replay, and then people get to watch the chat, which is what you're typing in right now. More people get to see what you're typing in. So if you haven't done so already, all you got to do is come out of the chat real quick, hit that thumbs up button, and the more people get to see this. Okay. And hopefully more people will come to the live streams, the more interactions you guys can have, the more I can learn from your comments too, and everyone learns because we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Right, okay, so this is more or less a climate thing again. It's a big news because of the droughts, etc. Now listen to this. There's been a big increase in GMO, that's genetically modified organisms. We used to call it GM, genetically modified. Okay, it's the same thing, right? A big increase in GMO drought-resistant crops, say biocers. Now I spell BIOCERES, biocers firm. It's a company, okay? So they've been actually heavily researching and engineering and trying things, okay, experimenting, should we say. Genetically modified wheat strain called HB4. That's Hotel Bravo 4, okay? So you look into biocers and HB4, okay? And they are heavily modifying that like crazy. So they're already looking at targeting Argentina, which is a huge wheat producing company, and corn too. Argentina, Brazil, and then they're going to be looking at Africa and America, okay? Whatever order, it's going to be roughly in that order, okay? So you're going to be looking at genetically modified wheat, which is drought resistant, okay? So straight away, that gives me a heads up. All of that major investment, and they've got a big clout, that company. It's a major conglomerate, as my father tells. So a big company, okay? Biocers. So reading between the lines, they're saying publicly about this now that this is like Business Insider. So this usually comes out before it hits mainstream, okay? That's why we like to look at all of these sources as early as possible. And over time, the mainstream will be told about it. And by then, we've already adopted our preps, told people the heads up, and we're all learning before, you know, the sheep will get hold of this information, okay? So that tells me that I'm expecting to see, especially summertime as being very, very dry, okay? And winters are going to be very, very wet, okay? So we need to find a way to store water in the summertime, okay? Now I'm going to get onto that a bit later on. So before I go any further, I've just remembered, congratulations, 348 people in the chat. That's absolutely awesome. Because I just said this is like a prepping community and we all here to help each other. I've got a good friend of mine. Her name is Jo, and she's based over in the West Midlands. Jo Gould, she's put her name as on here. It's not a real name, it's just a fictional name. And she is in the West Midlands, and she is looking for serious, like-minded preppers, okay? So we're not talking about these plastic preppers, I call them, you know, the people who've got like brand new EDC items and show them up all over the place and never seem to use their kit. They're not real preppers. Okay, real preppers use their stuff, they learn and experience, and they adapt and adopt their preps accordingly. So if anyone is near the West Midlands area and you're looking at hooking up with like-minded preppers, contact Jo on here, and I think she's over on Instagram. You can contact her further there, and I think she's on WhatsApp too. So that's down between Jo and yourself. So if you can help her, maybe meet up and share some ideas. Only serious preppers only, okay? The more awake, the better. There you go. Right, let me see. Moving along. Who has heard of SUTD? Sierra Uniform Tango Delta. Singapore University of Technology and Design. We spoke about bugs earlier with the butter, right? SUTD. 3D printing food. Yeah, I know. It's scary. And I've checked out their website and stuff, and it does check out. It's not some made up thing. No worries, Jo. Like I said, if anyone's in the West Midlands who can hook up with like-minded preppers, just find Jo Gould on the chat right now. And you never know. The more we got connections, the better. Right. So, yes. The Singapore University of Technology and Design are 3D printing food using insects, algae, and vegetables, okay, to solve the food supply issues. So think about that for a second, okay? I've seen 3D printers and stuff online. I've got a few friends who have them and love playing around with them. Cornish flag, yeah, we're getting onto that in a minute. It's absolutely bonkers. So all they're doing is they're finding ways to liquefy, I'm presuming, and to make it stick, if you know what I mean. So we're talking insects. So insects have to be processed. Okay, so I'm presuming that's going to need some sort of water or liquid. They're going to be blended, made seriously fine, pushed through filters and sieves. Algae as well. They're going to be collecting algae from any water source that's out in the sun. Eventually algae is going to form there, so they're going to be harvesting that, mixing it together with some vegetables. They're going to be mixing it all together and 3D printing food. So you can imagine what they're trying to make. They're going to make a perfect looking ribeye steak, but it's going to be made out of insects, algae, and vegetables. And they're going to be tinkering with flavors. I'm assuming they're going to be using MSG, which is monosodium glutamate, which alters the receptors in the brain to make it taste better than what it actually is. It does something, I forget what receptor it's called in the brain, but it enhances it. Weapon collector, all right, mate, let me shout out later. It enhances, I believe, tenfold of what your food actually tastes like. So if you get some really cheap economy rubbish junk food and you eat it, it doesn't taste so much. You put MSG in there, it goes, wow, that tastes amazing. How many people now and again will eat a Chinese takeaway, okay? And it's like, oh, God, it tastes amazing. It's beautiful. It's got loads of MSG in there, which is just like a white powder. You can buy it in bags in Chinese supermarkets or Asian supermarkets, and they put spoonfuls of this stuff into their food to make it taste a lot better than what it is. It's seriously bad for you. There was a Chinese takeaway I used down in near Portsmouth, where I used to live. It's a little place called Drayton, and I think it was the Pearl of the Orient, it was called. And that was the only takeaway that I can find which had no MSG. And it was authentic Chinese food, really good stuff. But that MSG is seriously bad, okay? So I'm presuming they're going to be using that when they're doing these 3D printing food things. So again, if you wanted to check out that further, you're looking at the Singapore University of Technology and Design, looking into 3D printing food. Soylent Green, you're not far off the truth, buddy. So moving along the food issue, if you can call that food, we're looking at Jersey. Now, I've been on holiday in Guernsey before, an absolute beautiful part of the world, and nearly every single place that I ate food in there, it was amazing. All of the food, when I was there a long time ago now, was produced on the island. So it's all fresh, locally grown, and you can well taste the difference, okay? I myself, like many of you now, are growing your own fruit and vegetables, and you can tell, you pick that tomato and you eat it straight off the plant, and I'll tell you what, it's way different than what you buy in any supermarkets, okay? So Jersey, now this is quite a sad story, all right? Jersey have reported a bird flu outbreak. So you can expect the price of chicken to go through the roof and to become hard to get. The prices of eggs will go up and will be hard to get, okay? But that's bad enough. But check this out. And you can research this. So I endorse anyone who wants to learn further than just these headlines to research yourself, okay? So there's a place in Jersey called Woodside Farms. Woodside Farms, okay? It's a family-run business who have been going for 135 years, a long time. So we're talking generations and generations of this farm business in Jersey. Now, astonishingly enough, that one company that's 135 years old, Woodside Farms, produce 80%, 80% of all fruit and veg in Jersey. They just finished. Yeah, it gives me a bit of goosebumps hearing that because, you know, I mean, people are getting squeezed out there, okay? People are getting creamed. And they have publicly announced that the reason that they're ceasing their business is down to operational costs, the price of fuel and the supply chain. Okay, so that is what they're stating publicly. Now, there is obviously a massive dose element of truth within that statement. Okay, so when you think of Jersey, it's got roughly 100,000 people living in Jersey. Okay, 80% of all of the vegetables and some fruit are not going to be available there. And you know what's scary? They are now going to be reliant on all vegetables and some fruit from us here in the UK. That's crazy. That's really crazy. So you can see where this is going. Can you imagine living on an island of 100,000 people and all of a sudden 80% of all of your fresh fruit and vegetables are no longer going to be local? They're going to be forced into being importing food from the United Kingdom. So you can imagine the price of fuel going up and the availability of it, the supply chain physically getting fresh produce from the UK to Jersey. They're going to be struggling on that island. So my heart goes out to everyone in Jersey, okay? So moving along, and also I mustn't forget, just after saying this about milk in the UK too, France, there's going to be a milk shortage, okay? Now this has been reported that it's the feed stock, okay? So the feed that are used to feed the cows to produce the milk, okay, has been a big problem with drought. And drought's a common theme globally right now, okay? It's a scary thing. It's not just a localized issue here in the United Kingdom. This is a global issue. So they're struggling to produce alfalfa and corn. Now, alfalfa and corn are major, large items that are in feedstock for cows. Now, years ago, I used to know someone who had the biggest dairy farm in the south of England, and they used to feed their cows with these items, and they're called stock blocks. They're great big black plastic tubs, and they're full up with this like a granulated feed, like pellets. And in that, it's got lots of corn. Now, the corn was from the United States. Now, this was about 8 or 9 years ago now, so we're going back a bit. I think back then, 90% of all of the corn coming out of the United States was genetically modified. So I should imagine it's nearly all GM corn now. So that's being exported all over the place, and it's going into cows. So the milk that you get from supermarkets, it's coming from cows that are eating genetically modified corn as part of their feed-based stock, okay? I'm glad I didn't forget, but this is a heads up for you guys who were not on the live stream last time, a few weeks ago. I've been told by good authority that there will be massive nationwide milk shortages for up to 2 weeks next month, okay? So not just milk, dairy. So if you enjoy milk, yogurts, butter, margarine if you want to, cheese, all of those dairy products are going to be a big issue to get hold of in September next month. Now, I've been told that it's going to be early September. So things like cheese, okay? Hello, Lee. Just see you pop up, mate. Good to see you. Anything that's like cheese tends to store in the fridge for quite a bit longer. So if you ask my advice, baby bells, peel my bell. So yeah, stock up on cheese. Okay, so I would say tomorrow maybe most of us go do their shopping, their weekly shop or their monthly shop, whatever it is. Over the weekends, stock up on cheese anytime between now and right up to the end of this month. Okay, if you don't want to do it now, give it another week or so, but make sure that you've got enough cheese to get you through all of September, just in case, because what I said on the other live stream, the dairy delivery issue to all major supermarkets all over the UK in the first 2 weeks of September are going to be majorly affected. Okay, so get cheese. Cheese usually lasts for a couple of months, so you can get it any time between now and the end of the month. Milk, if you've got chest freezers, fair play. My advice would be stock up on milk. Probably get full fat milk, because if you like skimmed milk or semi-skimmed, you can always use full fat milk to dilute it down with water to make it go further. Takes up less room in your freezers. You can freeze milk. What might not be a bad idea is to open the bottles, get some of the milk out to leave your space, save yourself a bit of space in the top of the bottles. So when you freeze, if they expand, they're not going to burst and go everywhere. Okay. Yeah, you can freeze lard, but lard's not dairy, but I'll get the point. So yeah, you're looking at getting anything milk related. Okay, so powdered milk, spot on, Faye, absolutely. Get powdered milk, get as much high fat content powdered milk as you can. Now I know it's difficult because I used to prep loads of dried milk, and it's hard to get like full fat milk. If you can get full fat milk dried, that's the best way to go, because it will go further. You can always dilute it if you're into semi-skimmed or skimmed milk. The majority will be skimmed, so there's not much fat, there's not much calories in there if you need to boost up on your calories. If you're working out in the garden, you need to get fit and you need the energy. Okay, so yeah, look for semi-skimmed, skimmed and full fat. Get some of that because it will last all the way past September, and it will carry you through. UHT milk, like someone just mentioned earlier, absolutely. We've got UHT milk as well. That lasts for about a year. You can stick that in a cool, dark place, so you're not going to be affected when all of the sheeple people go to the supermarkets early September and find out, oh my God, I can't get milk. Why is there no milk? What's going on? We've already prepped. We're already ahead of the game. That's what I like to do, is give you guys the heads up. As soon as I get this information, tell your friends and family, that people that you love and you trust. Okay. If you want to tell the sheeple, you can. It's up to them whether they take you seriously, but we'll fool them if they don't. It's just a heads up. And yes, if you haven't done so already, if you can hit that thumbs up, it really, really helps. It makes sure that everyone watching the replay right now can see all of your comments and they can learn and get this information too. Okay. So yeah, milk issues coming along the way. Again, along the same talk of food, Holland, or out in the Netherlands, as some people like to refer it to, they have shut down 11,200 farms. Now, let that sink in. 11,200 farms, that is a lot. And I know Holland is quite big and it's quite flat, and there's a lot of food produced in Holland, okay? A shed load of food comes out of Holland. More than you wouldn't believe. Hold on, let me just check. I need to make sure that this is good. Yeah. That is absolutely insane. All right. So so basically that's 20%. So 20% of all of the farms in Holland have been closed as of now. 20%. So that tells me that there's going to be 20% less food available on top of everything else. And apparently that's been pushed by the WEF and the UN together. They're in cahoots to meet climate goals. A reoccurring theme, like I said. Now, earlier on, I talked about what's happening in Sri Lanka with the digital ID and the digital stuff to get your fuel. Well, guess what? Out in Greece. Now, I really feel for Greece, because do you remember back in, I think it was 2008, they had that economic crash. We had reports, and I had friends out there, they were saying they're only allowing a certain amount of euros per citizen to be withdrawn out of cash points. Okay, so if you think, oh my God, things are going bad, supply chain is bad, I need to get extra money to make sure I've got this. They limited you. I think it was 500 euros, no more. Okay, which is scary. But Greece, what's going to be happening? I believe it's the 1st of October. I could be wrong, but it's definitely in October. So if you need to know, if you're affected or you know someone in Greece, check it out. Okay, it's going to be in October, but I'm thinking it's the 1st, or not 100%. A digital wallet ID and driver's license are going to be combined and put into their mobile phone via a government-sponsored application or an app. Okay, and what's going to happen is going to be a QR code. So QR codes seem to be their doorway into multiple electronic technical devices to monitor and gather data and to make sure, yes, you can or no, you can't. Everything's going to be controlled with a QR code. Forget barcodes, that's old hat. QR codes is where it's at. That's a t-shirt. Right, so what you're looking at, if you want to research this further, okay, is gov.gr.wallet. Gov.gr wallet. So that's gov.gr.wallet. And they use, it's a tax thing, and it's called TaxisNet. So TaxisNet. And basically they're using web banking codes. All right. So basically everything is going to be linked. If you want to drive a vehicle in Greece, everything is going to be linked to your live location on your smartphone. Can you tell what it is yet? Can you see where it's going? Everyone is going to be tracked. If you want to drive in Greece, if you don't have this, you won't be able to drive. And if you do have it, you will be tracked. Now, you could probably get around this if you had no choice and you still had to drive, but the only way to do it is to get this app. You could try putting your phone in the shielding device. I tried years ago with heavy-duty tinfoil, wrapping your phone 3 to 5 times as tightly as possible. Okay, get your friend to send you a text, turn the volume up and see if it goes through. If it does, add more foil, because what I've been told by some people who work in the cybersecurity industry is when people get their phones updated, their software updates, it gets more and more powerful. Okay, so this signal emitting out of smartphones is getting stronger and stronger. So you're going to have to update your shielding capabilities for your smartphone as this technology gets more and more powerful. Okay, it's cops and robbers. The robbers keep up with the cops. That's all it is. Okay, so whether that's going to enable you to carry on, etc., or maybe there might be reports and saying, I'm sorry, we can't track you, we're not going to allow you to drive your vehicle. I don't know, but you don't know till you try. But that would be my advice to anyone who values their privacy and they don't want everyone knowing their locations all the time. Okay, so let me just have a little drink quick. Right, incidentally, before I go any further, this is for a friend of mine who I was talking to today. We chatted really quickly about the amount of rubbish that they put in drinks these days. Squash, anyone who likes cordial, squash, that sort of thing. Something that I've been using for years now. I can't remember how long. It was probably 2008. Yeah, since 2008, 2009, maybe just after, I've been using this. Okay, now I'm not being sponsored or anything like this. All I'm doing is showing you, based on my research, on what I use. Okay, you don't have to do what I do. I'm just telling you. Now, this is the only product that I can find in United Kingdom supermarkets which has no aspartame or aspartame. Okay, aspartame is seriously bad for your health. You heard it here first. Now, I did do a post a long time ago on my Instagram account, which I've removed now. Shame, because it had over 7,000 followers and I'll just delete the whole account. Things are getting political when the issue started, but I digress. This used to have on the label, no aspartame, no artificial anything. And if you look round, I will show you. I don't know how well this is going to zoom in. Okay, let me see. It's all written back to front, so I'm trying to find it. Let me just find it on there. So it's right there. Right. Okay. So if you look at the ingredients on there, right, show me where it says aspartame. But not only that, everything you see on that ingredient list is 100% certified organic. Okay. So there it is. So if you want to enjoy a nice squash, especially in these summer months, I can thoroughly recommend that because to my knowledge, it's the only squash that you can buy in UK supermarkets which has no artificial colours, no preservatives, no E numbers, no aspartame. This is the stuff to get, right? They also do lemon, which is absolutely gorgeous. If any of you guys like a bitter lemon or a strong natural lemon, it's beautiful. And they do blackcurrant too, okay? So this is the one that my son likes. I prefer lemon myself. Absolutely love this stuff. And every week I just get 2 bottles and I just keep a big stock of them. Because every now and again, especially on Tesco's, they didn't have any for about 3 weeks. So luckily we still had some left. Okay, so aspartame, big no-no, don't do it. So I just thought I'd mention that while I was having a drink before I forgot. Let me see, going down to Ireland. Now, I remember someone in the chat earlier is from Ireland. So if you can tell me what you know, if any of you guys are in Southern Ireland right now, okay, get ready to start typing and let me and the guys in the chat know, and indeed everyone who's watching on the replay know about this. Now, I've been told on good authority, and I've actually researched on a few dark sites, should we say, because you won't find this in the mainstream, I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. But the Department of Agriculture proposed to pay farmers 5,000 euros, 5,000 euros per cow. Think about it. To cull them, to destroy them, to kill them, okay? The Department of Agriculture in Southern Ireland are proposing to pay farmers 5,000 euros to kill each cow. So if you're a dairy farmer or meat farmer or whatever in Ireland, business is getting tough because guess what? The price of fertilizer has gone up big time. Now I know already from where we are, it was £300 for fertilizer. Now it's £1,000. Okay, a massive, massive, massive increase. So farmers are really struggling, okay, and it's by design, in my opinion, okay. So if you're a farmer and you're struggling and you think, I need to get money, I've got to feed my family, it's all gone, they are proposing £5,000 to kill each cow to reduce greenhouse emissions. So all of those idiots out there who haven't got their own brain, who believe that cows and animals all around the planet are heating up the planet, making this big dry environment for us all, are coming out of animals' asses, there is no point talking to you any further. And if you're one of those guys, I strongly advise you come out of this chat and you unsubscribe from my channel because we're not going to get on. And it's fine. We're all free to believe what we want, but that is how it's going. Lots of people seriously believe that cows farting is heating up the planet. You've got to be way gone to believe that. Okay. So also, and this is quite scary, you know, when I said earlier about trying to get hold of valuable information on the internet, wow, you can try this yourself because I tried, because I thought this has got to be fixed. Okay. How many of you do your own research? I'm guessing a fair few. There's 446 people in the chat. Awesome. If you can quickly come out and hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to get more of his content every week and bonuses and shorts, etc. Hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up. You've only got to do it once and you're good. Okay. Google, Bing, B-I-N-G, Yahoo, and scarily, DuckDuckGo. Those 4 search engines. Now, if you are to do an experiment and type in January 9th. Now, that is a big date because it was the American inauguration, etc. You know, when the Trump and the potato thing happened. The first 30 pages, okay? Not a screen, a page. Just say you've got like 10 websites on a screen, right? That's one page. times that by 30. You type that in, and guess what happens? The same results come up on all 4 of those search engine platforms. And they all have the same things. And all of them will have Wikipedia at the top. Go and check it out for yourself if you don't believe me. And you just go through up to 30 pages. Keep going. 5 pages, jump, 10 pages, 15, 20, 25, 30. All of those search results will come up with the same results, the same links. And the scary thing is, the majority of those results are mainstream. So that is quite a recent thing. I'm saying recent, it's probably within the last year or two when the issue started. It's pretty much when 9/11 happened. I call it a trigger because as soon as that happened, it triggered a lot of things. And again, the most current thing was the 2020, the issue. That was another trigger. The Georgia Guidestones, when they got attacked, that was another trigger. Every time these triggers are pulled, big things change and big things rapidly happen. Okay. So if you're looking for information and you're trying to understand what is going on in the world, it makes it that much harder. So what I'm asking for you guys, I'm not a technical expert. I try. And to be honest, I'm treading water and it's hard for me trying to understand technology because unless you work in the technology sector, you're not going to be keeping up to date on the changes and the updates. And you could easily be left behind. And it's scary. And if you're not on the forefront of cutting edge technology online, you're not going to understand. So if anyone knows of any alternative search engines other than Google, Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, my friend Faye, who's on it now, she's a moderator, she's absolutely awesome. She recommended that I use Brave. Now I use Brave and you can do like a secret search on there. And to bolster that, I use a VPN. I pay for Proton VPN. It just gives you that much more anonymity during your searches when you're looking to research things. Okay. What you don't want to do is to start using Google without a VPN, because what's going to happen is all of the information that you're searching for is going to be tied to your IP address, your internet protocol address. Okay. And already they're building up a file of your search habits. And over time, if you're looking into the wrong sort of things, you are going to be dubbed as a domestic terrorist. No joke. If you look what happened in the Philippines over history, and you saw how big and how fast that country changed, anyone speaking out against the narrative was grassed up by citizens for financial rewards or food. And the people who wasn't going along with the main program end up in prison. And let me tell you, the prisons out in the Philippines are way, way worse than those amazing hotels that we have here in the United Kingdom. Food for thought. Okay, so be careful when you search. You know, anyone who's got any tips on searching online for good information, if you understand what I'm saying, put it in the chat and everyone could have an experiment and look into all that sort of stuff. Okay. Let me have some more drink. Keep an eye on the time. Bloody hell, we're not far 9 o'clock. That's absolutely insane. And we've not even got onto the emails yet. I don't even know if we're going to have time. And in fact, I told my partner this may go on till 10 o'clock, just to be a heads up, because we got a lot to go through. Here we go. The Bloomberg report, the 10th of August, 2022, government, reasonable worst case scenario. Now check that out online. Make some notes if you haven't done so already. Wait for the live stream to upload and be verified. Then you can replay this, you can pause, make notes, and go through searches to verify and to see any updates. Like I said, if you're going to research any into these topics, have a look in the chat, because I believe some clued up people have left some tips and advice about how to search safely, because you don't want to use Google. Okay, you don't want to feed that AI algorithm any more than it's being fed already. The government reasonable worst case scenario: gas and electric shortfall in January for 4 days, reduced imports from France and Norway. So there you go. Expect massive 4-day with no energy in January. Okay, that's a heads up. Like I said on the other live stream, some of you guys who are new to the chat and new to all of this, okay. Paolo, oh my God, the first donation of this evening. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Absolute gent of a guy. And yeah, do you know what? I completely forgot. If anyone wants to donate to this cause, it makes it so much easier to buy me time to research all this. It takes a lot of time to put these shows together, believe it or not. There's different ways you can donate if you want to. Underneath the video, there's a thing called Super Thanks. It's a little heart shape underneath the video. There is now a thing which me and Mike Weapon Collector uses called Ko-fi or Ko-fi. There's a link below this video to that. There's also PayPal if you want to donate to that. If you do, use friends and family because that ensures 100% all money goes straight through and it doesn't get deducted. You can use Super Chat, Super Stickers, which Paolo has just done there. It's absolutely awesome. And I can't thank everyone enough who feels they want to donate. It really does help. So, yeah, cheers for that, sir. It really is. You need to share the PayPal. Yep, it's underneath the video, and I believe I've pinned it at the top comment. Let me just check. Yes, there it is. Donations over at PayPal. Donate funky at outlook.com, friends and family. Cool beans. So, yeah, absolutely awesome. Every penny seriously appreciated, okay? So, yeah. Reduced imports from France and Norway. So the UK does get a lot of imports from France and Norway. And the thing is, some of those countries are getting their gas and energy from Russia. Which, guess what? You know, if France and Norway are refusing to pay in rubles to get gas from Russia, it's going to have a trickle effect. And it's going to go to us here in the UK. So we've been told that there's going to be 4 days in January without any electricity and gas. All right? So my advice... You've got time, okay? Then this is the thing. Don't believe that all this is a mad rush and you've got days, okay? You've got time, okay? Just sit down, take it all in, all right? Look into off-grid heating, okay? Personally, I recommend those big old-fashioned gas bottle heaters you put in your home. They kick out a hell of a lot of heat. Insulate your home. Make sure you're not getting ice-cold air blowing in and making it all crazy. Make sure if you're using any naked flame in your home to have a carbon monoxide detector in every room that you've got these heating devices inside. Okay, make sure that you get that. It's very important because what happens is if you've got flames inside your home and you've got no oxygen getting in, all of the oxygen that's in that space is feeding that flame, and the oxygen is getting less and less and less. And that flame will be replacing the oxygen with carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide will kill you, okay? You're knackered, you've been grafting all day, you've been doing the allotment, you've been working double shifts to get the money just to eat, okay? You come home, you're tired, you're freezing cold, you put the gas heater on, you've got no carbon monoxide detector, you fall asleep, the oxygen diminishes in that room, and you go to sleep and you never wake up again. That is the truth, okay? So, gas bottle heaters, Faye! Man, that's awesome. Right. Just quickly before I get the beer open, I've got a couple of minutes. Oh, you're a gem for reminding me. And you know what? I couldn't miss that, Faye. I'll tell you what, your mind works like a charm, mate. There's no way I could miss 50 bottles of bloody pints of beer on the screen. Yeah, it's beer o'clock very soon, so make sure all of you guys have got an adult beverage. Get it ready, because in 1 minute or so, we'll be having a drink. So, what were we talking about? Yes, heating quickly. Paraffin. Paraffin is awesome. Get as much as you can right now because that price is going to freaking skyrocket when it gets cold, okay? Get it in bulk. I use a company down south of England called Rye Oil. R-Y-E oil. Get them from them. Get them in 20 litres at a go. Keep it. Get second-hand or cheap charity shop or whatever it is, paraffin heaters. Light your paraffin heater outside the house. Give it 30 seconds to a minute. Then bring it into the house. If you light it in the house, the fumes will stink. Make sure you've got some window open a tiny bit because the fumes, okay? So paraffin and gas, awesome. And also a wood burning fire. Metallic reality, hi. Moderator in the house, all good. So that's my advice to heat your home when you're going to get these power cuts. So without further ado, some of you guys might have been noticing these. Where is it? There. Does anyone know what that is? That's a Cornish flag. Cornwall. And guess what? There's a guy on here, I hope he's on here. His name is Cornish Bob. And guess what? Cornish Bob sent me a couple of these and a couple of flags. Absolutely awesome. And not many people know this, but the cat's out of the bag. There has been a few people that send me gifts, and it blows my mind. It really does. To where I work, which is the bug out. Okay. Now, Lee probably is not going to want me to encourage this, but I'm just saying people send me stuff to the bug out and I'll get it. So yeah. So thanks to Cornish Bob to finding out where I work, finding out the address at the bug out, and sending me this. So here's to you, Bob. I've had this before actually, and I really like it. It's called Rattler. Now, I would say because it's cloudy, let me just double check. It's called a cider, but I would say maybe scrumpy because it's cloudy. Now, personally, what I understand is scrumpy, you shouldn't drink it cold. You should drink it at room temperature. If it's a cider, it should be ice cold. So even though it says cider on here, yeah, I've got a Cornish flag on the top. How wicked is that? I'm going to call this a scrumpy, and I'm going to drink it at room temperature. So, cheers, everybody. We've been on air for just over an hour, and thanks, Faye, for reminding me. Happy drinking. That is awesome. I'm not just saying that, because I've actually bought a few of these before. And I think what it was, at the time, it might have been Asda or Tesco's. I can't quite remember. It might be Tesco's, actually. These were on offer. And I quite like a good cider. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try one of these. I don't usually fall for all the gimmicky logos and the cans and the pretty pictures, okay? But because it was on offer and it's very cheap, I just got one bottle. And when I drank it, oh my God, absolutely awesome stuff. Really good. So thanks, Cornish Bob. You're an absolute legend for sending 2 bottles to Uncle Funky all the way here in Wales. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good gear, that is. Silly git. Right, let's put that down there before I get too sloshed. God, we got so much to catch up on. It's crazy. So, we're getting there. We've only got that to go. And then we've got all the emails. And we've got some knife porn. Don't even forget knife porn. Let me see. Also, I think this has gone up because this information was during the week, and I believe it may have gone up. So if any of you guys want to correct me or update everybody, put it in the chat. It really helps. And also, there's 447 people in there and 319 thumbs up. So if you're still here, hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. It really helps. Make sure everyone can read these comments in the chat on the replay. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks for spending your time here and hopefully learning some stuff and trying to get a heads up on how to prepare for the crazy times that's coming down the road. All right. If you think what's happening now is crazy, man, they're not even started yet. This is just the start. So if you're cracking now, work on yourself, spiritual armor at the ready. There's big crap coming. Get ready. Okay. The UK average energy bill well over £4,200 a year. That's an average energy bill. Okay. UK has already shipped record amounts of gas to the EU, which is what I said, basically what was going on with the diesel prices and the petrol prices in America. They were getting sky high, the same as the UK. But guess what? This is crazy. The UK was exporting petrol and diesel to the EU, and America was exporting petrol and diesel to the UK. So why would you export and have your prices go up? Oh, guess all the oil companies have made massive profits, BP and others. Crazy. So that's quite scary. Energy prices are going up. And like I'm saying, it's a good idea to get as much things in as soon as you can. You've probably got between now and the end of September, early October. So if you're new to this, you really haven't got much time. Get your skates on. Make sure that you can heat your home and make sure you can eat well. Okay. Now, You know, most of us haven't got much money and it's hard to get a lot of food. But what I've come to realize is, yes, we've got food in. Most people have these days. We live out in the countryside, way out in the sticks. And to be honest, everyone has. Because when you get big snows out here and you're snowed in for weeks or months, it's a good idea to have food in. People have been doing it for generations and generations all around the world that has bad winters, okay? And all this is just migrating that concept to urban people and urban dwellings, okay? Just make sure you've got food in. If anything, it's going to reduce your food expenditure, whether it's weekly or a monthly frequency, to save money because you've already got loads in, okay? Get bulk stuff, get pasta, get rice, get baked beans, all of that sort of stuff. Get it all now before the prices go crazy in October, because they will massively go up. If you've got all that now, if you still got to go shopping for fresh food, you're only buying fresh food at the time. You're not buying pasta and rice at the time as well as fresh foods, okay? Do you see where I'm going? So it will subsidize your expenditure. So that is a good tip. Also, then this is scary. Like I said, if you think it's scary now, who remembers me saying on a live stream recently that they only used to put up energy bills, so we're talking gas and electricity, moreover, here in the United Kingdom, once a year. Okay, so I think it was every April. Okay, the adjustments of people's energy bills happened in April. That was annually. Now it's biannually, every 6 months. So we're talking April and October now. The energy prices are reset or updated or upgraded. I can't see it staying the same or going down. I can only see it going up. Yeah, thanks moderators for getting on top of that. Weird, I don't know where that comes from. Awesome, spot on you girls and guys. Thanks, appreciate that. So yeah, goes up twice a year. But guess what? Are you ready for this? Because this is going to scare the crap out of you, especially if you are struggling now to find a way to heat your home. So we're talking hot water and heating, right? They are going to be doing it. Now, this is confirmed, right? In January, the energy prices across all of the United Kingdom are going to be updated every 3 months, every quarter. Okay? That is bonkers. Absolutely. I know. I can't believe I just said that. So in January, every 3 months, your energy bill is going to go up and up and up 4 times a year. Okay? Most people won't be able to heat their home and have hot water. Okay? I'm so glad I live in the sticks and I can hopefully soon, which reminds me, get firewood, okay, to keep warm. Keep me and my family warm. Okay, we got a wood burner. It's a back boiler. We need wood because we haven't got any gas central heating. Okay, so yeah, 4 times a year your energy prices are going to be going up. So that is absolutely bonkers. And like I just touched on, we haven't even gone through the commodities. It's crazy. We haven't even gone through the emails. We've not looked at no knives. Right, my good friend who is on here right now has promised me a chainsaw. Now the chainsaw, I believe, is ready to go. It's clean, it's been surfaced, it's absolutely awesome. Totally is. Okay, so Andy, you're an absolutely legend for doing that. It's seriously going to help me out no end, right, through the winter months. Okay, I've got a friend who down in South Wales has been using a chainsaw since he was 16 and has never paid for firewood. I haven't got a chainsaw. I've never used one until recently, and it's costing me £220 every 3 weeks. Yeah, £220 every 3 weeks just for firewood. Okay, that's for hot water and heating, and we don't have it on all through the day. It's just in the evenings. If it's really cold, it'll be on in the morning. Okay, so if anyone can do me a favor and help to get this mission done, if anyone is going to be driving between, let me see, it's between Derby and Nottingham, not too far from the M1. So if anyone is going to be in and around that area who's coming over to mid Wales, if they can drop it off to where I work at the bug out, that would be seriously madly appreciated, like you wouldn't believe. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to have to figure out a way to contact a courier and Andy's going to have to find some sort of box and pack it all and all the rest of it, and then trying to get that done without it being damaged. So if anyone is going to be travelling from Derby to Mid Wales over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, that would be appreciated. If you can catch up with Andy on here, his name on here is Run 2 for Woods. That would be absolutely awesome. It would really help out a lot. And what I might do is try and do some more social media posts on this, because 4 people offered to do it a while ago. Andy felt that there was more important stuff that needed doing to it, and he did try and come over, but the guy's just moved house. It's all crazy, so he hasn't had time to get over here. So I'm calling on anyone who can collect the chainsaw from Derby and bring it to Wales. That would be absolutely awesome. Okay. So moving along, bloody time's flying, isn't it? This is crazy. This is just little random things. Henry Kissinger, who's heard of that lovely person? He's 99 years old, believe it or not. I mean, he must have really good security, because he should have been rubbed out a long time ago. He said this week, not last week, we're still in this week. He said that we are on the brink of World War III. Bit of a heads up there, okay? Speaking of that, this ties in very nicely to this piece of information, which I had to follow up. Now, has anyone here in the UK heard of the UK Emergency Alert System? Now, many people won't know this. They tried rolling it out a year or so ago in a small area. I think it's down south in the UK as an experiment. Basically, this is going to be live as from the 1st of October. Like we've been saying in previous live streams, October is going to be the month of a big trigger. That trigger is going to get pulled in October, and there's going to be a lot of things go really bad for a lot of people here in the UK. A lot of things. We're talking the price of food and water, that's another thing, is going to skyrocket. The energy prices are going to skyrocket. The availability of either, both, will be crazy. It's going to be hard to get certain foods, supply changes, problems, all of that. October is going to be a bad month. So I'm hoping that people hear my message and make sure they've got enough food. Water will probably be okay, because we're going into autumn and winter, so collecting rainwater and purifying it. Yes, there's scare stories that saying that rainwater is got cancer causing stuff. It probably has been for years, but what can you do about it? But filter it and do what you need to do, okay? The emergency alert system is going to be rolled out live to every smartphone across the United Kingdom. You won't be able to opt in, you will only be able to opt out. So straight away, from my research, that is dubbed Napoleonic law. Look into Napoleonic law. All of you guys who've dabbled in maritime law and free man on the land and all that sort of stuff and common law, look into Napoleonic law. Okay? Guilty until proven innocent. All right? Same thing. So all smartphones are going to have this app on them on the 1st of October. Now listen to this. This is how contradictionary, if that's a word, this actually is. And this has been rolled out publicly very recently this week. Okay. And it says on there, right, and listen to this. Are you ready for this? It doesn't use your telephone number. It doesn't collect any data. It doesn't track your movements. It's only sent to areas at risk. So it's only sent to areas at risk. So if it doesn't want your location, how is it going to know where you are and where to send it to? Now, yes, there has been talk that it's going to be targeted to cell towers, and anyone near that certain cell tower will get this. But to be honest, I can't see that happening, because cell towers use 4G. Not everyone has 4Gs on their phones. So, yeah, it's crazy, and not everyone has it turned on. So, yeah, that's scary. But they did say, now this is important if you want to avoid this, it did say that you need to make sure that your smartphone is kept up to date. So if you're like me, I brought my smartphone, which is this recording on through the camera. I brought my smartphone in 2020 on a 3-year contract, right? I have never, ever updated the software on it. I get prompted every time I reset my phone or restart my phone and turn it on, turn it off. Every time it prompts me, update the software on your device. And I go, no. So my phone works absolutely fine. So you don't need to update your phone. The worst thing you can do is to update your smartphone, especially on a regular basis. All that does, it's the same as, do you remember on Microsoft, every time there was an update and it took ages and, we're updating your device. What it's actually doing, it's a two-way street. It's taking data from your device and updating their system. So it's stealing all of your data, everything in your device, all of your photos, all of your videos, every website that you visited, every keystroke that you've touched will all be sent back to a database, and they own everything that you've typed in. It'll all be on the terms and conditions of your phone and your computer device. Okay. So if you want to avoid this, my advice would be don't update your phone. Okay. This is happening on the 1st of October. Right. So if you don't update your phone and you get this update, that's going to be scary because they have said it will only work if your phone is kept up to date. So if you don't want to take part in the B system, bloody hell, we survived years and years and years without the government and emergency services alerting us that there's a danger coming. That's my advice. It's my opinion. Okay. So yeah, best is to have a dumb phone. Yeah, I've got dumb phones. Okay. They're 2G. And if any of you guys don't know that the entire network rail infrastructure runs on a 2G system, if they was to upgrade, it's going to take a minimum of 10 years and they're still using the 2G network. The company Free that offers mobile phone contracts does not operate on the 2G network. So if you are thinking of getting 2G phones, I advise that you get Nokia 3210, the old classic ones. They run on 2G. There's so little scope to being tracked on them. You can have some sort of degree of privacy. The batteries last for days and days and days, but you're going to have to get used to having no more than 200 contacts in your phone and phone calls, answer phone and text messages, nothing else. You can play a couple of little basic games if you really want to. Okay. So my advice would be, if you want to go down this road eventually, I probably will do as well. Go to your burner phone, or they call it a dumb phone now. Go to your burner phone, but all of the contacts that you want to keep in contact with people, write them down in a book and keep it safe. Okay. Because how many people with you right now have all of your contacts of all of your friends and family and all the rest of it in your phone? Something happened to your phone, you lost all in contacts. Crazy. Yes, if you try storing it in your SIM card, if that gets corrupted, guess what? All your contacts are gone. Go through your phone contacts, write them all down in a book. Okay? Keep them somewhere safe. Tip. All right. Also, this is just a brief bit of information. The post office here in the UK are going to be on strike on the 26th and the 31st of August. Okay, so if you're going to be ordering stuff to come to your house, or you've got to send something to someone, be advised that on the 26th and the 31st of August, post office are going on strike. It's all about pay, etc. But not only that, the 8th and the 9th of September, no post. Okay. Two of them dates out of all of those are Fridays. So it's a big time for post office, and the Fridays they decided to strike. 26th, 31st of August, the 8th and the 9th of September, the post office will be on strike. Moving along, more information. Kids eating bugs at school. Now, Lee at the Bug Out can confirm this. I've heard this from quite a few people now, and I've followed a few channels on Telegram, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. They're disguising it, as to be expected, as a fun thing for children. They're calling it the Bush Tucker trial. Now, who remembers watching that junk? Many of us probably won't, but some do. That I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, eating the witchetty grubs, the bugs and that sort of thing. They're getting kids at school to do this, and they're making it all fun. So already, they're indoctrinating children here in the UK in a public school system, getting them used to the idea that it's cool and it's fun to eat bugs and insects. This has got to stop. Okay. If I was a parent and my kid, I was going to school, and he come home and said, "Oh, Dad, we've been eating bugs today," or "Dad, we're going to be eating bugs next week," I strongly advise every parent to write a strong letter, and everyone in the school, all of the parents, to send a strong letter to the headmaster, and probably copy it to the council or anyone to do with the school system. The more people complain and say this is unacceptable, I do not want my child eating bugs or insects. If this continues, I will be withdrawing my child from school as a threat. Okay, that's going to stop or slow right down. Because if the parents don't complain about this now, guess what? You can see where this is going. Children are the future. Okay, the children now are going to grow up and they're going to be wiping our bums when we're old and grey in care homes and stuff. Okay, so think about it. You don't want them being snowflakes. Make sure your kids are brought up tough, because we're going into tough times. And if your kid melts at anything, parents have only got themselves to blame. Do not blame the school, because when you hand over power to the school, look after my kid for 6 hours a day or whatever, it's still your responsibility to make sure that your kid is educated correctly. That's just a personal note. You know, it's just my opinion. That's what it is. Right, who has experienced any problems getting bottled water? Now, I noticed this about a week ago. It's gradually got worse this week. There's a shortage from what I've noticed in Co-op, Tesco and Aldi. What they're trying to say, it's based on a company called GXO, Golf X-Ray Oscar. It's a driver's strike over pay. Okay, apparently Morrison's are getting it as well. So whether that's factual or not, I don't know. What I need to know, GXO, the drivers, are they supplying all supermarkets or just one? From what I know is they are supplying Co-op. Now, does anyone know if GXO supply all supermarkets or the supermarkets that I've just mentioned? Because if they don't supply the other supermarkets that I just mentioned, I probably hazard a guess to say the bottled water shortage has got bugger all to do with GXO. It's just a smokescreen scapegoat. Okay, so my advice would be keep back containers that can hold water. Personally, what I do is I get those big 5-litre bottles from Aldi. It's got a good strong carrying handle. The material's not too bad because of the green idiots. All the plastic now is flimsy. Okay, it used to be good, strong, quality, thick plastic. Now, because, you know, friends of the earth and all that, all the plastic's really crap, so it makes it hard to get good quality, strong plastic to store foods and liquids in. All right, so keep those big 5-litre bottles back. When it rains, etc., collect the rainwater in there. It doesn't matter if it gets dirty, just store it there out of the sunlight, purify it as and when you need it. I'm not a fan of storing rainwater and purifying it and keeping it outside, because the chances are when you get around to drinking it, even though it's been purified, sunlight or whatever it is really going to do your guts in. Okay, only filter water prior to drinking. Don't leave it out there filtered. That's my advice. A good tip from a good friend of mine. He lives down near Cardiff. He had a good idea as a plumber. Excellent guy. He said, I don't know if anyone knows this, but it's just sharing something that he found out, was go and buy kiddies paddling pools. You'll probably get them cheap now because summer is drawing to an end. So a lot of companies, supermarkets, etc., will be wanting to offload their summer stock and start moving in their autumn stock. So you might see good discounts on paddling pools. So if you've got an outside area, okay, or whatever, use a hose pipe if you need to, okay, fill it up, put some bleach in there, okay. Now the bleach amounts will be how much water is in there. Now if you look at the packaging, it should tell you how many litres or gallons or pints or whatever it is that paddling pool holds. That will give you an idea of how much bleach to use. Now what you're looking at, in or around 1 drop of bleach to 1 litre of water. Okay, so if it's 100 litres, we put 100 drops in, and you can guesstimate how many drops would it be, whether it's a quarter of a pint, eighth of a pint, 100 ml or whatever it is. Do the math, put the water in there, put the bleach in there, give it a good stir around with something clean, cover it over with a tarp and try and keep it out of the sunlight. And if you can't use a UV reflective tarp, okay, it will reflect the light and it will slow down the effects of algae being and bioorganisms growing within that water. You can use it as a backup water. If your electricity goes down, you can use that water that you stored outside to flush your toilet, etc. You can use it to boil up, put in a kettle to have cups and tea, etc. if it's cold, whatever it is, okay? ICB, ICB tanks are great. I remember back in the day, back in 2010, when I did an allotment, I could buy a brand new ICB tank, brand new, for 20 quid. And he was getting them from allotment associations. So if any of you guys have an allotment, go to your local shop within the allotment, ask around, and you'll probably get a heavily good discounted price in ICB tanks. It's basically a big white, semi-opaque, clear, big plastic cube with a metal cage in it, with a big opener. Some of them have taps, so you can put taps on them, about 1,000 litres, okay? So you can stock them outside your property. You can have water butts, so you can have all the water running off the roof going into there. You can store the water, you can decant it as and when, and then you can purify it, ready to drink. All right? That's if you don't know. Some of you may know, but not everyone knows everything, okay? So that was that. Also, just a quick one. I've got a friend out in Canada. He says they're getting big fuel shortages at petrol stations out there. And it's been going on for 2 weeks, okay? I think it's gone to 3 or 4 local petrol stations, no fuel at all. So anyone out in Canada, can you tell me if you've experienced any issues as regards fuel delivery? Right, that's all the notes done. I'm going to quickly, Christ, time is bloody flying by. There's more emails coming in. Oh my God. Thanks to everyone who's joined up on the website mailing list. The website is currently under construction. It's taken a hell of a long time. And the more I look into it and the more I try to progress it, there's more pitfalls and more money that's needed to build it. And it's becoming really problematic. But I'm trying to do everything I can do for free as and when I get the chance and the time. I have got help from an expert who's been ill recently for a couple of weeks. He's getting better now. So hopefully there's going to be some time soon to progress the website. So if anyone hasn't signed up to the website mailing list, underneath the video and in the pinned comment is my website's email address. Click onto that, you go to the website, there'll be a mailing list thumb at the bottom, sign up, and when I get information before live streams, you guys will be the first to know. There's well over 200 so far, so appreciate everything. So we've got a toss up here. People's emails or life porn. Emails it is. Let me see. So where was we? Well, it's been quite a while. Friday the 5th. That was the last live stream. Let me see. People who send me links to videos, I'm really sorry I can't watch them. It just takes too long. Another one, the link to another YouTube video. Sorry, I can't watch links on the emails because I just haven't got the time. If you can try and summarize it in as short as possible, it really helps. Someone else said emergency fuel plan. Here you go. Blackouts on Bloomberg in January. Cool. That was from Lee. Culling cows. Deborah. Yeah, we've gone through that. Thank you. Christopher. Bloody hell, Chris. That's a huge email. Oh yeah, it's telling me to listen to a song by Genesis. Do you know what? I tried listening to that song by Genesis and I was borderline from boiling my face. Can't stand it, man. That was just... Sorry for you guys who love Genesis, but man, that's just fucked up, man. Don't like it. Sorry, but that's how it is. Oh, here we go. More bloody... what's this? Lots to consider. Oh yeah, someone was saying to me to watch the documentary, or the docudrama as they call it, a documentary called Blackout on Channel 4. It's on YouTube right now. It was made in 2013. So if anyone hasn't seen the docudrama or the documentary called Blackout Channel 4 or CH4, it was made in 2013. It's roughly an hour long, and it gives them a scenario of the electricity grid going down for a week to 2 weeks in the UK. And a really interesting viewing, actually. You can get a lot of information and mindset benefits from watching that, okay? I just haven't got time. Mark Telford, I'm really sorry, mate, but you sent me an email. It's like an essay of about 1,000 words. I just haven't got time. it's so much. A note about supply issues. Basically, he's saying it's no difference where he is in Telford, which is cool. It's always good to see people who haven't got issues. A question: as we live in sparsely populated areas of England, it's nice as long as you don't need an ambulance. Plans to bug out? No. Oh, this is too much. I've literally run out of time. I'm really sorry, Mark. Let me see. Bugs for lunch. Yeah, there's more information on that. We're gonna have to blow the emails. Right, as promised, as we try and do every Friday. Who knows what this knife is? Does anyone know? Just by looking at that. Does anyone know? Some of you probably will. Let me just check. The thing is, I've got such a delay on here. It might take about 10 minutes for anyone. Hey, look at that. Check it out. Popcorn Lover, SE. Right, here we go. Blade time. We're not fucking around now. And yes, this is a bit naughty. Double-edged. Like a razor. Okay. Absolutely. I could. Yeah, razor. So here we go. A bit of a blade action there. Now we all have to look at cool stuff. Okay. SE knives, absolutely awesome. Okay. This was kindly sent as a gift years ago, and it shocked me because I've never seen one with you could say a swedge on the front like that. Liners, micarta. There you go. Bolts. It's got a nice profile to it as well. It's got a good hold on it. The gym print's pretty fair. Okay, it's not too aggressive, so you can use it quite comfortably without a glove. But that tip, right? I remember doing a YouTube video out in the woods, and I went mad with this. I was literally giving it everything I could into this fallen tree, and I was bending it. And this thing, let me tell you, was bending like crazy. Look at that. After all these years, it's absolutely true. Nice and straight. So if anyone wants a recommendation for a good knife, SE make awesome blades. The choil there, full grip there, is absolutely excellent. It's just in the right place, because if you look where the choil goes, look at where the second finger goes, just behind that guard. It's a really, really cool tool. And let me just see where it is. The balancing, hit the bed. It's hard to do this and look at the screen, but the balancing point is right there. So yeah, it's not blade heavy. The balance, it's a beautiful knife in the hand. It really feels like you're holding nothing at all. It's very, very lightweight. Probably not a great chopper, but if you needed to, I recommend that you put a hand landing. I've done there. I've done YouTube videos on that. And you can hold it at the end, and you can probably use like the front belly portion of that blade there. And yeah, you could chop, but I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, that is awesome. The sheath is mint too. It's a really good. It's up there, maybe up there, but maybe better than a Secure X sheath by Cold Steel. The retention's good in there. There's no rattle. And that, believe it or not, that is a seriously strong belt retaining clip there. Okay, I can't see any failures with that. If anyone has experienced any failures with these sheaths, let me know. It's got a good. It's got a bit of rattle in there because it's probably been abused and stuff, but it doesn't come out. You got to really give it some. Sounds like something of Zorro, doesn't it? It's a good blade, that. Now, did you like it? You shouldn't really drink and play with knives. But what you should and shouldn't do, it's irrelevant. It's what you need to do. And what we need to do now is look at something. I don't like saying the word apocalypse, because to me, apocalypse means unveiling. Apocalypse doesn't mean the end of the world, okay? Only researchers will tell you that. Now, this is something for the end of days, if you want to say that. Look at that. Now, can anyone tell me the maker of that? All right, can anyone tell me the maker? This should be interesting because this will separate the wheat from the chaff from the knife guys. Okay. Let me see. What are you drinking? Someone's late to the party. It was sent to me as a gift. It's a UK drink, made in Cornwall, hence the Cornish flags up there, called Rattler. And it's not strong. Well, not for me. It's 6%. I like my ciders to be up around the 8% mark, okay? So let me see. Oh my God. Look at this. Now, this is awesome. Now, a big shout out, a huge shout out to some serious guys out there. We're looking at Ice Dubs, Kieran Murphy, and Dusk Hunter. You guessed it right. Doberman Knives. Now, who remembers Doberman Knives? Good friend of mine, known him for years. I haven't seen him for a while. We've got to catch up soon. But he made this and he gave it as a gift. And he said, mate, he taught me this when we was at the Bushcraft show. Right? He pulled me to one side. He said, mate, he said, you do know that shit at the fan's really coming. He said, take this because you're going to fucking need it. That's his words. And there it is. Are you ready for this? Now, extra bonus points for anyone can tell me the model of this blade before I take it out. Okay? So if you really know, you're probably a bit of a clue there. DK Doberman Knives. Can anyone tell me what the model of this blade is? Now this would be really cool. If anyone gets this right, massive prepper points on your way. Okay? Tell me what model that this knife is that was made by Doberman Knives. Okay? So I can imagine some people are all over the internet now looking for Doberman Knives. Hellhounds, no, the Hellhound's tiny. The Bloodhounds, no, sorry, it's not that. No, it's not the Pincher. Not the X5. Good guesses. You're getting there. But this is, he didn't make too many of these. This is why it's an absolute honour to receive one from the man himself. Right, no one's going to get it. Right, no, it's not by Wessex Blades. This, no, it's not a Rottweiler. You ready? Look. Kid hell. Look how thick that son of a bitch is. Now, a lot of us know Andy and love Andy. And yeah, he don't muck around, right? This is over 8mm thick, all right? Now check that out. This is all made from scratch by hand. Okay? Look at the jimping there. How sweet that is. It's an awesome thing. Shall I tell you what it is? It's the CST, the Combat Survival Tool. And it is a tool, and it's bloody heavy. And I'm not going to insult anyone. That is so freaking sharp. That's not a knife. That is. All right. Yeah, the CST, the Combat Survival Tool from Doberman Knives. It's expertly done. I mean, that thumb ramp there, where the guard is absolutely works. The thumb naturally wants to glide up there and stop. And you're wondering what's that for? Well, guess what? You've got a choil there, a forward choke, and you can use that. Can you see how cool that thumb goes in there? It's absolutely freaking beautiful. And again, you look at the choil there, and that just goes nicely. And that guard is awesome. There's no way that you're going to go over that. Okay? It's absolutely wicked. And the pummel on there, you know that's going through car windows, all sorts, house windows, door windows. That's going to go through there every day of the week, twice on Sundays. Seriously thick, as you can tell by my hand. It's an absolute hefty son of a bitch. Made entirely out of D2. If any of you don't know what D2 is, it's a pretty much a cross between high carbon steel and stainless steel. It's a seriously good heat treat it's done on this as well. I have no issues with it at all. That swedge on the front is killer. Okay, and the tip, man, I've had that tip in a breech block, right? Smashed it, right? And look at the top. Look at that. There's not one frigging dent or bellish on that tip. And that has been hammered. I held it in reverse grip like this, okay, with the guard, and I went down as hard as I could 3 times into this breech block that's on the floor in the garden. Bang! Sparks were coming out of it. It was a concrete breech box that had like pebbles in there. But look at the tip. The tip retention is freaking awesome. Okay, so if anyone who's had blades from Andy Doberman knives, you know they're going to last. And no, it's not a naughty knife. It's not double edged. Okay, that is a serious swedge. The sweeping dropper now I love. It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. And if you look pretty much from the pummel point to that is pretty much a spear point, believe it or not. So if any of you guys don't know what a spear point is, it's pretty much a direct line from front to tip, giving it an almost equal balance on either side of the overall material used, okay? And it's getting heavy to hold. I'm not joking. I don't know what the weight is, but it's freaking strong, okay? So that's made by Doberman knives, and it's heavy, okay? G10 and mosaic pins. It's holding it all together. No liners. He's gone cheeky and put it balls flat straight onto the stock, which is wicked. So you really feel everything in there, okay? And for shits and giggles, I've put a true paracord hand lanyard on there, okay? You go around it. So if you do drop it, you've got to get your legs out of the way, because if you drop it and that swings round, that will just literally just put like a 1-inch chop straight into your flesh. That's an evil bitch, okay? So that is the CST, up there with one of my prize collections. I have many knives. I love knives. Knives to me are tools, and yes, I use them. I don't have knives and don't use them. That is a complete shame, travesty, and a waste. In my opinion, that is some bitch, okay? If I wanted to, you know, that's going to go through doors. It's going to go through logs. It's going to go through cars. It's going to go through other things, okay? It's an axe. That's what he tried to do. He tried to make it, he tried to attempt the impossible, right? And the impossible is to have one tool that does many different things. And when you sit down and try to design something like that, it's very, very difficult, okay? So you've got a fighting knife because it's got a guard there, okay? You can do close-up work with a choil and the second thumb wrap there, okay? It's got the heft on the belly there for chopping. It's got an ultra fine razor sharp tip, so that's good for doing bow drill, etc. It's good for putting pivot holes in things, okay? The swedge on there, you can use backside for all sorts. You can actually use the spine as a hammer because it's toughened enough. The great grip on there as well, okay? So when you use this, you can hold that, which enables you to do all sorts of fine, delicate work, okay? You can rest it because of the weight, and you can use the blade to do many different things. So it's a great idea. And obviously that pummel, wow, guess what? It's going to give someone a seriously bad headache, needing a lot more paracetamol than they can probably realize. So that is the the CST, the combat survival tool. And he's done a pancake sheath for it in Kydex, okay? And he's happened to whack a bit of spray on there. Look at that. Absolutely freaking mint. The more I look at it, the more I want to play with it, you know. Can you just see the way that locks in there? That's wicked, isn't it? Yeah, like a twat. I bloody broke that. I know, long story. But there's a bit of knife porn. So there it is. What else have we needed to discuss? Any of you guys who wanted to join a bit of a fun chat, there's a guy on here right now. He's a moderator. He's a brother I love very dearly. His name is His name is Weapon Collector. His name is Mike. He's got a twin brother who's an expert survival guy, okay, especially when it comes to trapping. Mike is amazing at making weapons, okay, and he collects them, hence Weapon Collector. If you want to go onto Mike's channel at some point after this, it probably takes me 20 minutes, half an hour to take all this down, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be going on there for a bit of live chat. Nothing to do with prepping, it's all fun. Speaking of fun, before I sign off and forget, next week's live stream, okay, is not going to be anything to do with what we usually talk about, right? I've come to realize, no, that's not the right term, but I know for a fact, myself included, there is a lot of people out there right now, and for some considerable time, who have been struggling mentally with all of the things that are going on around the world from 2020, shall we say, okay? Everyone's affected, and the way I see things, subconsciously, subliminally, we're all being affected with all this negative information. And yes, a lot of it is important information, which we need to be aware of, adjust our strategies and our plans and preps accordingly, knowing what's coming down the road, rough time frames, all that sort of thing. It's very bad, it's very negative, it's very hard, okay? And lots of us are struggling, and a lot of people are feeling lonely out there, okay? So if you're not in a community, you live on your own, you haven't got a partner or family, if you're elderly, whatever it is, it can be seriously tough, all right? Especially if you're in an urban environment. Lots of people live in heavily denselated populations and never felt so alone. That's true. It's sad, but very true. So a lot of people are struggling, and it sometimes affects me when I'm giving out all this information, because when I hear myself say it, it's like, oh my God, I'm just spreading that negative stuff. And yes, it is negative, but it's the truth from what I know to be the truth. And I want to help as many people as possible. So what I plan to do, Karen Marks, hi, how's the old man doing? Hope he's good. What I plan to do next live stream, next Friday, 8 o'clock, is going to be a fun live stream, nothing to do with the issue, okay? It's going to be completely different. So what I'm going to try and do is to create so much fun. I want people to laugh. I want people to unwind. If you want to have a beer, great. You don't have to. If you want to smoke something, great. You can. You don't have to. But I want everyone to have a laugh, tell jokes, share funny stories, all that sort of thing. Okay, so that's going to be the live stream next Friday. You don't have to come along if you don't want to. I'm not looking at getting massive views. I just want to share information, and I want to help people. That's all I predominantly want to do. I want to help people. These live streams, I've been trying to help people to plan and prepare for what's coming down the line. But like I said, it does get a bit too much, and we do need to step back and take stock of all what's going on, okay? We really do. Because if you carry on absorbing all this negative energy, it's going to have an impact. It's going to take its toll at some point. I hate using the word, but we're only human, and we are going to be affected. Some people get affected easily. Some people, it takes years or time. But eventually, we're all going to suffer the consequences for absorbing all this negative information. So I thought, you know what? We need to chill out. We need to have some fun, okay? So if any of you guys can send emails in, anything that's going to help cheer people up, all right? Funny stories, jokes, whatever it's going to be. Try and avoid political stuff or anything to do with what's going on. We don't want nothing to do with that on next live stream, okay? So any funny, true stories that you remember that makes you giggle, that's happened in your life, it doesn't matter if it's absolutely hilarious or it's quite funny. It doesn't matter. It's all positive, okay? So we want to try and dilute some of this negative stuff, right, for next Friday. We want to inject lots of positive stuff. So stories that inspire and help people, okay? We want good fun, we want good laughter, all that good stuff. And I think it'll be fun, all right? So I'm looking forward to next Friday. So I'm going to be trying to find time in my busy schedule to make notes, to inject some fun into next live stream. That'd be absolutely awesome, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to sign off now. I've got lots to do, and I'm going to be going over on Weapon Collector's channel very shortly to join in the chat there, and hopefully see you there. If not, no problem at all. I will see you next Friday, maybe some point throughout the week if any videos come on. First of all, everyone who's made any input whatsoever, good or bad, in the chat, I can't thank you enough. And if you're watching on the replay, you're awesome. If you watched the whole replay from start to finish, looked at the chat, paused, made notes, all that sort of thing, I really, really appreciate it. Like you wouldn't believe. Time is the most precious commodity, okay? The moderators have absolutely been amazing, as always. And we can't do this at all without moderators, okay? So any of the guys you see on the chat right now with their names in blue, with that little spanner, they are demigods. They are seriously good people. And some of them have YouTube channels, okay? So if you want to, go through the chat, any word that's in blue, click on it to see if they've got a channel. If they have, subscribe if you like what they're doing. Tell them I sent you, it all helps. We want to grow this community, and we want everyone happy as Larry. And finally, anyone who's donated, I mean, I can't tell, there's been probably private donations, there always is. There's links to PayPal, there's links to Coffee or Ko-fi, and there's a super thanks underneath, there's super chat, there's super stickers, all of that sort of stuff. Okay, it all helps get some sort of finance to me to sort of help me and the message that I'm trying to push out there. It really helps. So Paolo, you're a legend if you're still here. Really do appreciate any donations that come my way. And that is it. So I hope you've had an awesome Friday. We can all kick back and relax now. Well, I can. I've been working doing this, but you guys have been chilling out. And you guys, I know you work hard and you deserve it. All right. So thanks everyone who's taken part in this. It's awesome. We've had well over 400 people in here. So this is growing, okay? And if you haven't done it, if you've forgotten or whatever, come out in the chat, hit the thumbs up. It really helps because, like I say, it helps people on the replay. More people get to see it on the replay and they get to see everything that you guys have been typing in and follow the story on this recorded live event that's happened here in the middle of Wales in England on the 19th of August 2022. So, thanks for watching. Stay funky.